Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video for you. I'm doing the mid-year tarot tag, originated each year by Chanel Days, so be sure to go check out her channel. And there are 13 prompts, and also at the end I am also going to be going through a goals check-in and my word of the year check-in. These are things that I wanted to kind of discuss around this time of year with you all, so I thought I would just slot them into this video since it fit pretty well. So let's get right into the first prompt. Which is a deck that you've used the most. I don't necessarily track what decks that I use each day or anything like that, so I had to go off of pure memory. But as I was looking at my shelves, definitely the one that I have used the most, not just for videos, for references, and for reading, is the JK Tarot. This one by far has the most mileage, I guess you could say, for this year so far. It's just a really wonderful deck. This is the reprint done last year, and I was able to get a copy, and this is my favorite RWS clone. I love the vibrant colors. It's really wonderful to read with too. It's got a very wise feel to it when I read with it, but kind of like in a modern way. Wise in a modern way. I don't know how to describe that better, but I pull this out for quick readings. I pull it out when I don't know what to use. Again, I use it for a lot of my videos for examples when I need an RWS clone. It's just a really nice deck, and it makes me happy to have it in my collection and to use it. Yeah, I would say this is pretty much my perfect RWS. So the second question is a new deck that came into your collection. So I did a really big deck haul earlier this year, but I have gotten a few decks in since then. And so I wanted to pull in one of those that I haven't really showcased or talked about on my channel. And that is the Rediscovered Classic Tarot. And this is the same creator of the Fantasy Garden Tarot, in which the artist uses a limited number of ballpoint pens to create the art. And this is their most recent deck. It was featured on Kickstarter, but you can get the deck still, I do believe. And I really like the art style of this artist, and so I thought it was really cool that he did an RWS version. I don't know, I feel like it gives the RWS a lot more texture, and overall I do feel that the colors are brighter, more vibrant, and it's like different enough, but it's the same RWS that we know. So this is one of the most recent, if not the last, deck that I brought into my collection. One of them at least. It is on a glossier cardstock, but you know that doesn't bother me. It is a little bit thinner. It makes it very flexible, easy to shuffle, which is really nice. I mean, wow, this Hermit card. All that depth and color variation with just a few ballpoint pens. It's like really amazing to me how talented people are. The third prompt is a deck that could be better. And I would like everyone to hear me out first, because the reason is only because I'm selfish and I want more, but that's the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle, and there's nothing wrong with this deck whatsoever, not an ounce. I love the beings and the people depicted in this. I love the artwork in general. I love the color choices. I love that it's a Cowgirls space alien theme. The only thing, and this is the reason this fits this prompt, is I want more cards, and I think there's only like 35 in here. 36 cards, so that's definitely on the lower end of what I like to see for oracle cards. I at least like to see 40, but I use this in an archetypal kind of way, and I have had other decks in my collection in the past that were archetype cards, but for some reason this one, with how fun it is, it just resonates so much more with me, and therefore the reason that it could be better is for the amount of cards. I just want more. I just want more of them, please. Otherwise, it's a fantastic deck, and I think if you don't have it, or if you've had it on your wish list, I don't know, I highly recommend it. Prompt number 4 is a deck that I am currently using, and currently I cannot put down Zeke's Arcana. And what a perfect time, at least in the northern hemisphere here, when summer is in full bloom now, or officially. Summer doesn't start until officially June 21st or something like that. But I love the colors. The color story is phenomenal. The artist really knows how to use all of the bright colors without being too Lisa Frank-like, in my opinion. There's a lot of breathing space in this artwork, and I really feel like that breathing space allows the funky colors, the funky figures that are sometimes portrayed in this with crystal heads, and a bird with a human head. It really allows them, those aspects, to come forward. This has been a really uplifting deck, which is quite interesting because looking through like the figures, they don't actually really have happy expressions on their face most of the time from the ones that you can see. They're quite stoic or kind of that resting face vibe, if you're catching on here. But I don't know, it makes me happy. The color choices make me happy, and I feel like this one is very in tune with being a summer deck. So that's why I have gravitated towards using it a lot lately. Prompt number 5 is the biggest surprise, and I'm so sorry to bring this deck forward again, but truly it really did catch me by surprise. I wasn't expecting such a great bond with this deck already, or to be so connected, I guess, quite instantly. And that is the Little Sister Tarot. This is probably the darling and the gem of the year. I love the blue matte edges. I really adore these backs. They're really great. The artwork to me is just very evocative. I really sink into it. I am an empath, and in that way I'm usually able to connect with the emotion or the feeling that a card is portraying, especially when it has a figure, a being, a person in it. But there's just a quality, an unspoken quality of this artwork that I just feel like the artist literally poured their heart into each and every card. And I really feel that deep inside me. And that is like the reason why this has completely come out of left field, swept me off my feet. I can't stop talking about it. It not only surprised me in that way, but it's been like the perfect deck at the perfect time. And for something like that to align, I think many of you know how that feels. And so this is that deck. Okay, now we have number 6, biggest deck crush. And that would have to be my Nosotros Tarot. I love this deck so much. It's so beautiful and we understand each other. I just love the vintage quality that it kind of gives off. And the color story, it's a little bit more muted, but as you can see, there are pops of color. It's just bright and vibrant in that way. Every time I pull this deck out, I just get on so well with it. I admire it so much. I look up to it. I love the different figures represented in this deck, and it makes it feel very worldly to me. Yeah, every time I bring it out, it just reminds me of why I have such a crush on it. Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to talk about your crush in front of your crush, right? Get all tongue-tied and stuff. So number 7, the one that I'm sure others might have tripped over, and it did take me a while to figure it out. I even talked to my partner about it. I'm like, I'm supposed to pick my most favorite single tarot card. And there were a few decks that popped up into my mind for this prompt, and I looked through them all and I narrowed them down, but this is the one that has been in my heart. And I don't know. Anyway, it is the Fool from Tarotbot. The reason why I chose this as my favorite card is because it features my favorite color, which is orange, and the robot just exudes Fool energy, but his expression on his face is so cute. He's got little teethies sticking out. He's got his flower. He's got his companion here, the sun. It's a happy card, and it gives me all of these feelings, and it's a robot being depicted. So that's just, I don't know, kind of amazing to me that something like this image could make me feel so happy, to the point where I do think of this card very often. The Fool is one of the cards that I look for in decks to see how they've depicted it. There's a few other cards that I look for. The Fool is one, the Star, the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the Three of Swords, basically like the entirety of the Pentacles suit, or any of the Pentacles really. Those are like the cards that sometimes help me like go for the purchase, or help me decide if it's a deck I feel like I could really bring in and work with. Deciding factor cards, I guess. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If I could have a poster of this guy on my wall, I definitely would. Prompt number 8 is a deck that makes me happy, and that is the Forest Spirit Imprint Tarot. It makes me happy because it's set in this beautiful, fantastical world. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. It's like clear and crisp, and the colors just pop right out at you. And the story behind this deck and the character, I just really like, and it makes me happy. It's a very joyful deck, and even tougher cards or cards that feature more conflict are done in a stunning way still, in a very humanized, humanistic, relatable kind of way. And it just makes me smile every time I bring it out to use it. Plus these beautiful green edges. The backs are really great. Overall, really wonderful deck. Number 9 is a deck with a great guidebook, and I don't think any of you will be too surprised, but I've chosen the Wild Whispers Oracle, and the artwork is a little bit more simplistic in a way, but not in a bad way. It's just a lot of like shapes, almost vector style, but not quite. And I think that the artwork is beautiful, but where this deck really shines is the very much in-depth little guidebook here. It goes through how to use cards, the structure, down to card structure, and it has different suits that mean different things. And on the individual pages for card meanings, we get 1, 2, 3 pages of information. And if you really want to sink into the overall theme and the overall message of this deck, then this is the perfect guidebook for it. It allows you to explore at your own pace. It allows you to be really expansive. So it doesn't necessarily give directions, or it's not directive, but it poses a lot of ideas for you in understanding the entirety of the meaning of the card. And it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. You can read what you want to read and take from it what you want. You can read all of it, some of it, a little bit of it. You can jump right in without reading the intro, but I just think as a whole, this is beautifully done. The creator's writing as well is just really wonderful. Are you racing through life at the speed of light? Slow down, for gifts and natural beauty line your path. Every nook and cranny of the desert is filled with treasures. Be sure not to rush past any. It's just very wonderful. And I think about this guidebook all the time, and it makes me want to bring out these cards and use them a lot. Number 10 is a deck I want by the end of year, or that I'm waiting on. And one of the ones that I am waiting on from Kickstarter is the Earthbound Tarot, and I'll pop up some images on the screen from that campaign. I really love that this deck was created from pigments of the earth, natural pigments. This is going to sound really goofy maybe, but rocks and earth is really important to me. There's a deeper meaning for me there, and I really can't wait to pair this deck with the Story Through Stone cards. I think that is going to be absolutely a beautiful pair, and I really can't wait for it to come in. Prompt number 11 is a deck that's barely used, but you want to work with. And I will caveat this by saying, not only is this a deck that I've barely used, it's a deck that I haven't used at all. There is reason and not reason for it, but it is the Alchemy of Thoth. I am doing a few major studies this year in my practice, and Thoth is a new system to me, but I'm already learning a new system, and that would be with the Marseille. I have flipped through this, I've looked at the images, but I want this to be like a whole thing before I really jump in. And it doesn't have to be. I just want to say that, or clarify that. If you are using a deck that is more, or leans more Marseille, leans more Thoth, is a Thoth deck, is a Marseille deck, or a deck that you feel is maybe a little intimidating or above you, I guess, in your knowledge, I say you don't have to wait to work with it or use it or study it. You can do that at any time. I think that this would be one I could totally do that with, but I just want to have somewhat of a background of Thoth before using this deck. I just feel like it deserves that. The artwork is full collage. I love the style. This is the same creator of the Daydreaming in C2. I'm so excited. I really can't wait. Like, wow. I just want to be there. It's a beautiful deck, but I'm not sure if I will get to it this year or next year, but it's definitely one I have not used at all that I'm itching to work with. The next prompt is a favorite video you've made or a favorite video that you've seen. And I kind of wanted to change this a little bit because I watch and I make a lot of videos for this channel. I watch a lot of videos in general. I think the most favorite video that I have made for my channel is the pairing decks based on their backs. I thought that was really fun, slightly insane, but I had so much fun with it. I feel like everyone who watched that series or those videos really enjoyed and had fun alongside with me. I think it has made me not be as afraid to pair random decks together because you just never know, right? I feel like I'm not really good at pairing decks. It's not like a natural talent of mine, I guess. And this kind of put some parameters on pairing decks that gave a little bit of a structure, but that I could experiment with. So it was like the perfect mix for me. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun to make. It was a lot of fun to interact with you all in the comment section. And I literally just had this thought. I was like, I think I wrapped up the final video around the time of or just after my haul video, and I was like, I have all these new decks that I could do this with now. So I don't know, you might see another installment towards the end of the year as it gets closer and I have new decks. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with that. And then I want to do a channel shout out because this has been a channel that I've been subscribed to for a long while now, and their content always is very thoughtful and very intuitive and comes from the heart. I really sink into their videos and I really sit and I listen. I don't do anything else while I watch these videos because it just strikes my attention and my focus. And for someone who struggles with focus, that's like a pretty huge deal. I feel like I'm sitting down with a really great friend, listening to their thoughts and ideas and how they work with their cards, and I do feel like I'm also a student at the same time learning. And that channel is J Cuneo. I really hope I'm saying that right, but I will link her channel and I'll pop up a picture so that you guys can go over there, give her some support. Just very thoughtful, in-depth content, and it just is very relaxing, and it's like a treat to myself when I get to sit down and have space and watch Jay talk about her decks and her practice, what she's using, anything really I feel like she could talk about, and it's just very fascinating, and I always learn so much from Jay. So Jay, keep doing what you're doing. You're so wonderful. I'm so happy that I found your channel. I know we've chatted back and forth a few times, and I'm just really grateful for you and your channel. Okay, so the last prompt here is to pull a card for the next 6 months, and I really like this. And so I'm going to use a deck that I haven't showcased on this list, but it's a favorite of mine, and it's the Morgan Greer. So let me just go ahead and do that. Alright, so the card that I pulled here is the Wheel of Fortune, and I don't know, it's tough because I'm learning that I don't exactly like to do predictive style readings, or at least the way that I've been approaching them isn't right for me. So I think that this, hopefully for me and for all of you, let this be kind of a collective message, but things are always changing, and what may seem like an impossibility or a place of stuckness, or maybe you're going through hard times such as myself lately, but just know that nothing ever really stays the same. Things are in motion that we don't always understand. Even things that we have gone through, it takes time sometimes for the clarity to come. And don't be frustrated by that, even though that's so hard sometimes. You just want to pull your hair out because you're ready to understand why. But in time, our most favorite piece of advice to dislike, but hopefully it's a sign that for those of us going through something hard or difficult, that this is a sign that we will move through it. For someone who might be working towards something, a goal, no matter in what area of life, a sign to keep going. Just momentum, and all in due time, with the Four of Wands on the bottom, all in due time. Again, I want to thank Chanel for her lovely tag. I've seen this tag go around each year for a few years now, and they're like one of my favorite tags to watch, and I'm feeling really grateful that I get to participate this year, because last year around this time I didn't even have a channel. I wasn't creating content, so yeah, it's just really nice to be able to join in. Before you go, I have two more things that I want to talk about, since this is a mid-year kind of check-in a little bit. And I want to talk about my goals that I wrote down at the beginning of the year, and kind of check in with you guys about them. So these are a mix of tarot related, life related, and otherwise, but number one was to get more sleep. Hasn't really occurred. I've been all over the place with my sleep schedule. It's really tough because I am a night owl, and my life as it is now, because I have a young daughter, a family, the way my life is set up right now, I just can't be a night owl and have to get up and only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. It's just not going so well. So definitely need to get on the ball with that one. Goal number two is to develop and implement 2 deep dives with different decks. I am currently wrapping up my first one with the Majestic Earth, my 5-month deep dive, and in the month of July I'm taking a bit of a break, in that I am going to be restructuring my deep dive for the next deck, which is Taroki by Mr. Freiburg, because I'm also deep diving or going into Marseille. So I have to restructure how I develop that deep dive for that deck, but that will be happening, so I am well on my way with this. Number 3 is to get back into the workforce, but more on my own terms, and I have done that, which is really, I still can't believe, and is awesome and exciting. So I guess that one can technically get one of those. And number 4, declutter my life. I am someone who gets, now as I get older, I've realized clutter equals anxiety, and if it's not organized and if it visually looks cluttered, I can't. So I have been trying to be a little bit more active in decluttering my life. It hasn't been the largest focus. My attention has been elsewhere. But I will say there are definitely areas in the household and in my life where I am constantly taking stock of and kind of decluttering, so I could definitely do better, but I have made some movement. Goal number 5 was to get a professional reading done. I have not done that yet. I don't know. I feel like my birthday would have been a good time to do that, but there was just too much going on. So I don't really know what I would ask, and I want to be very intentional with what I ask. So, but I still have the desire and want to do this. Goal number 6 is to enroll in a tarot course, and I have not done that yet, but I think I was starting to plan out this Marseille stuff, and I think doing a course with Marseille would be really timely and helpful for me. And so I think that's what I'm going to do for this. Like, I have a topic now, so now I can figure out what course I would like to take. And then my last goal was to stay consistent with YouTube. And I do have to say, regardless of if I took a break from YouTube or not, I feel like personally I've been knocking it out of the park with consistency. Sometimes, as someone who struggles with focus and procrastination and, yeah, literally focus, it can be really hard to be consistent. I am really dang proud of myself for being consistent this year, or even since I've started my channel. The break that I just took was the first one since I started my channel, and I don't want it to get to a point like that again. So for that reason, I have downed the frequency, so I am only uploading once a week now. But I've also brought in Substack, and I think that combination, being able to sit down and write and then only have to edit 1 video a week as opposed to 2 has really helped me mentally and get into a better headspace with it being something I look forward to versus a task. I just have more time to do the editing and the other things that come with after you film your video. And having that breathing room, I feel like, has really helped me. So this is something that I feel like I'm doing. I'm not going to check it off just yet. I would like to see it through to the end of the year. But overall, I think there are areas I can definitely do better with, such as sleep. I think there are things that are in the works that I'm working through, and then things that I haven't touched yet. So it's a good mix of things. With it being a good mix means that there's progress happening, so I'm pleased with that. And then finally, before you go, I just wanted to check in with you all about my word of the year, which was rise. And last year, and kind of since 2020, I feel like I've just been stumbling into situations in life, or just stumbling into my days, or just moving through my days without living them. and I don't want to be a bystander of my own life. And while I feel like that's been hard to do the past couple months based on personal things that have happened, I feel like each day mentally I'm coming back to this space here. And that is why it's so important to write down your goals and write down your word of the year or your plans or whatever it is so you can come back to it. Because what you wrote down in that moment will help you in times where you might feel or get a little bit disconnected from it. And I do have a more personal deep dive journal entry about this. This is more about how I selected it and brainstorming and writing down and trying to figure out which word I wanted to select. But I feel like I am rising to meet my life and to live my life. And even when going through something difficult, I think sometimes the feelings that you feel and the struggles that you have, it just means that you are living your life if you are experiencing those emotions and feelings. So yeah, I guess I'll leave that there, and I appreciate you guys being here, sticking to the end with me. I had a lot of fun doing this tag, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's responses. So until next time, see you around.